I'm Sherry Raisler. I'm the Executive Director for St. Anthony Foundation, and I am honored to welcome all of you to this hope-filled and auspicious day for St. Anthony Foundation. For those of you who may have been down in the dining room, today is a pretty special day for all of us, and especially for our guests. In October of 1950, Father Alfred Bodecker, who was the pastor at St. Boniface Church just up the street, opened the doors of St. Anthony's dining room. And he did that in response to what he saw was a growing need on the sidewalks outside of the church, and where every day folks were lining up searching for food. And he just felt that handing out a sandwich at the back door was not a dignified way to assist people, and it also didn't really help to address some of the core problems that those folks were facing. So he was able to acquire property at the corner of Golden Gate and Jones, an old auto body repair shop, and he converted it into a dining room. From the very start, he wanted it called a dining room, and that everyone who came through the doors for a meal was to be called a guest. And all of the volunteers, all of our staff throughout the last 61 years knows that we greet everybody who comes through the doors like we would greet somebody coming into our own home, with that same hospitality, that unconditional welcoming, so that not only are they getting a fine meal, but they're also being reminded that their dignity is intact and that we are there to stand with them through whatever hardships they're facing to start a new day. On that first day, Father Alfred thought he'd serve about 150 meals, but 400 showed up to eat, and they managed to have enough food to feed everyone. And so the dining room also became known as the Miracle on Jones Street, because somehow there was always a way to feed everybody who came. And so now here we are today, February 1st, 2012, 61 years later, 38 million meals later, and we are today serving our last meal in our original dining room. We're relocating for 2 years to a temporary dining room. And on that very same spot where Father Alfred started St. Anthony's, a new St. Anthony's dining room is going to rise up. And we are very, very excited about that. And we're excited today to be launching both the start of that new building, launching the public phase of our capital campaign, and together, as a community, bringing it all together so that St. Anthony's is demonstrating its commitment for the next 60+ years to serve the people of San Francisco. Now, one of the things that we have always valued is partnerships, and this is no different. And not only are we building a larger dining room, it'll be about 43% larger in fact, we're also bringing 2 of our other programs onto the second floor of our new building. It'll be both our free clothing program and our social work center will be housed on the second floor. So again, it means that our guests have those integrated services right there immediately where they need them. But another partnership that I'm really proud of is a partnership with Mercy Housing. And they're going to be building 90 units of affordable senior housing on the upper floors. And so this corner of Golden Gate and Jones is going to be transformed. There'll be a 10-story building on the corner. It's going to bring food, it's going to bring counseling, it's going to bring clothing, it's going to bring housing. And I think that I can say that the mayor has always emphasized the need for partnerships, that we can address the challenges we're facing as a city when we all pull together and we bring our best selves and our best expertise to really address the challenges we face. And caring and sharing is a theme I know that the mayor has promoted throughout his efforts and continues to bring to his leadership in San Francisco. And certainly that's what St. Anthony's exemplifies in what we do each day. So it is my honor to introduce the leader of our fine city, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you much, Sherry. Thank you for your leadership, and Father Hardin, thank you very much. You represent really the best of what we do in San Francisco, and I am so glad to join Supervisor Scott Wiener here today. Our fire chief is here. I'm sure members of our police chief and the district captain, Supervisor Jane Kim, is here as well. She's squeezing through. A wonderful collaboration of people that come together because it's St. Anthony's. And not only are the meals important, but it really is the spirit at the connections that people get when they come to a center like this. It's warm, it's friendly, people open themselves up for dialogue, And then quality of life becomes something that is mutually talked about. And so I am thrilled to join here. I don't see it as anything negative today, just because it's called maybe the last meal served here for now, but it's one that excites me for the new chapter of St. Anthony's. And we're even bound even more because the new head of Mercy Housing is Doug Schumacher, who came as the head of our Mayor's Office of Housing. And I know he's going to be heading up building this wonderful housing complex along with the ground floor meal center that you have here, while you take care temporarily the serving of meals to people who really need them and want them, and good, wholesome food that has always been at the heart of the expression of love and support that St. Anthony has. I also am proud to share the stage with someone like Larry Bear. You know, I have to say this, when you say the word and the name Giants, there's only one Giants in this city that we welcome, and that's the San Francisco Giants. And you know what I'm talking about. And I will say this, that I'm really happy to associate St. Anthony's and what the Giants have done in partnership with them, because it's something that I've always wanted to see our businesses, our sports team be able to make that strong connection as they have historically done. Not only do the management come down like Larry himself, but the owners like Larry Nibby, the players have been here serving meals. Again, showing the love that the city has, the connections that we all have. Because it is about connecting people in life, no matter what stage they are, what economic level they are at. I have always been about the city for the 100%. Everybody lives here, and then what we do and what Sherry does, and when Sherry announces a need and Father Hardin prays for people to come, people should listen, and they should, and they have to. And that's why we chose Bevan Dufty to be our director of hope, housing opportunities, partnership, innovation, embracing and engaging our communities. And Bevan's here today to help serve these meals as well. Another evidence, he's supposed to be on vacation gearing up for the very hard work he's supposed to do. But I know his passion's already been shown for so long, and so it's natural that he comes aboard and helps. And these are the kinds of people that I want to surround myself with, the supervisors, with good administrators, with people in the community, with the business community, that all collaborates on the important part of improving people's lives, open up communication, giving the heart of San Francisco out in the open, and making sure that we take care of everybody's needs. So with that, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of service to this. And Sherry, just congratulations on this stage of bringing forth where St. Anthony is. I'm excited to see a brand new building, but also the same hearts that go into it that have always been here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And speaking of hearts, many of you are today volunteering with us, and every year roughly 10,000 volunteers come and give of their time and serve meals, help out in our clothing program, in our clinic, and all of our various programs. But at the core of what we do each day in the dining room are our regular volunteers. These are men and women who for years come in every day of the week. So, you know, some have a Monday, some have a Wednesday. They come in every week on that day, and they serve, and they greet our guests. And they are some of the most constant sources of hope and inspiration for our guests. And many of our regular volunteers have been with us for 15 years and over, and we are so grateful for them. And I know that as we embark on this new adventure, saying goodbye to the original dining room is also a little bit of a sad tug on their hearts, but also what we know we are bringing forward is that spirit of generosity and care that our regular volunteers bring each and every day. And so I'm really honored to invite two of those stalwart volunteers to join me and say a few words, Kathy Shea and Bill Bush. Please come up.
Good afternoon. I can attest to the energy that's going on in the dining room this morning, having been there for a couple of hours this morning. There's sadness because we're leaving, and there's also joy because of the new stage that we're going to. As Sherry said, my name is Kathy Shea. 15 years ago, I noticed an ad in a church bulletin, and so I thought, well, I'd give it a try. I'd come down here and begin volunteering. When I first walked down that driveway of what used to be a garage, I noticed that I was on sacred ground, holy ground, if you will. There's an air of compassion and love and service and dignity and respect that I don't find anyplace else, and that's why I keep coming. 15 years, and I hope I can do even more. I wanted to share a very short story with you that sort of speaks to my experience here on a weekly basis. Just before Christmas, the Wednesday before Christmas, one of the guests motioned to me and said, I want to tell you about this new show that I've seen. And he was very excited to tell me about an old show from the 30s and how it was now being seen on his computer, a little laptop at home. And so after a few minutes, I took up his enthusiasm and his energy, and I sat down with him, and he continued to tell me the story and how excited he was. And although it wasn't something that I know about particularly, I found that we were just two people sitting in a dining room and sharing some time together. And there was no longer the server and the guest, it was just us. And I left that day feeling as though I had been touched in a very special moment. And it's those moments that make the dining room so magical for me. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Bill Bush. I've been with St. Anthony's for 3 years. I think it's a great privilege to be able to serve, and St. Anthony's is very special. Last Friday, I attended I went to one of the great old San Francisco restaurants that reopened in North Beach, Original Joe's, and I was there and I was chatting with the owner, John Dugan, and I was very impressed by the new restaurant, and I asked him, I said, hey John, what's the capacity of this? And John said, well, we served 502 for lunch today. And I said, well, that's nice, John. We served 2,600 for lunch at St. Anthony's. So I think that one of the greatest of the virtues is charity. St. Anthony's practices that, and it is with great love and compassion that they serve their guests, and I'm just lucky and proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy and Bill, very much. You know, every meal we've served, as well as all the services that we're privileged to provide to the men and women and families who come to us, are possible because of the generosity of the people of the Bay Area. Since the day we opened, we have been able to do what we do because of contributions from individuals, families, and businesses. We do not accept government support for our work, and so it truly is San Francisco's charity. It is the good people of San Francisco who make it possible for us to get to do this work every day. St. Anthony's new dining room is a time when we're launching a very special project, and that's our capital campaign. We have just $5 million left to go on a $15 million campaign, and I'm feeling really good that we are going to get there. And we're on a good track because we've got some incredible people supporting us and guiding us. And I think you'll agree with me that our next speaker is someone who certainly knows how to put together a winning team. St. Anthony's is truly honored to have the support of the San Francisco Giants president, Larry Baer, as well as Giants pitcher Barry Zito, who is, I believe, getting ready for the season and couldn't be with us today. But again, let's welcome the Giant of San Francisco, Larry Baer.
Thanks so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sherry. Father John, Sherry, Mayor Lee, Fire Chief Hayes, supervisors. I don't want to miss a supervisor. I believe it's Kim and Wiener that are here, and our friend Bevan Dufty. Congratulations on your new role, Bevan, wherever you are. It's wonderful being here. Sometimes people say to me, wow, 3rd and King is the most important intersection in the city of San Francisco. And I've got to say that as much as 3rd and King is important to a lot of us, Jones and Golden Gate is the most important intersection in the city of San Francisco. Hearing from Bill and Kathy, the volunteers, and being able to serve meals periodically and interacting with the guests. In fact, I blew it today because last time I was here serving a meal, I wore our World Series ring. And as we were serving meals, you can imagine I didn't have the ring on at all while I was serving the meal. It was being passed from guest to guest, and it was a lot of fun. And just I very much related to what Kathy said, because what happens is you interact on a very real and a very human level with the folks that are here at St. Anthony's, and it's just it's a beautiful thing to see. I think back to a lot of parallels really between St. Anthony's and the Giants. We're both over 100 years old. If you look at the meal program and you look at the beginning, the origins in 1906 after the earthquake and displaced meals being served to displaced San Franciscans, and the Giants are 130 years old. St. Anthony's has been in this location now. This is 61 years. We have been 54 years in San Francisco in 2 locations, three locations, Seal Stadium, Candlestick, and AT&T Park. The fact that we close 6 months a year for baseball, and we do some functions at the park, but the fact that it's never once been closed, this operation. I know how hard it is to run an operation, any kind of operation, year-round, and the fact you've never been closed for anything is just, to us, just an amazing achievement for this incredible institution. We've been longtime partners with St. Anthony's, as Sherry says, and we very much look forward to helping finish off the capital campaign and urging other businesses to participate. I'd like to recognize a member of our ownership group who's been very involved, integrally involved in getting the Giants involved, and that is Larry Nibby, one of the Giants owners. Been a longtime advocate of St. Anthony's, and as Sherry mentioned, Barry Zito has chosen to affiliate with St. Anthony's as his philanthropic efforts here in San Francisco. He was involved in serving the 37th millionth meal, if I can say that, and has supported St. Anthony's throughout. He just sent this note today we received because he was trying, as she mentioned, he's in some pretty intense workouts, which I think we'll all appreciate come April. We want that, right? So he's in pre-spring training, but peak workout form here as we're now in February, and but we'll be here during the season to serve meals and to be part of St. Anthony's. I'll read an excerpt. He wrote practically a page here, but he says, "I want to congratulate the St. Anthony Foundation on this historic day in San Francisco. I regret that I am unable to join you in person today to serve as you served the last tray in the original dining room. I had the honor of serving the 37th millionth meal at St. Anthony's. It was particularly meaningful to me as I got to serve the meal to a U.S. veteran. As you may know, I have a special place in my heart for our military men and women, and a quarter of St. Anthony's guests each day are our veterans who have proudly served our country. I find that St. Anthony's provides not only great food, but offers hope and inspiration for the people of San Francisco who are facing economic and personal difficulties. I am proud and honored to serve as St. Anthony's spokesperson as they launch the public phase of their capital campaign. So let me throw out the first pitch to everyone in San Francisco and say, let's be part of the miracle and build a new St. Anthony's dining room for those who are so deserving." Thank you to Barry Zito. please remember, St. Anthony's will never miss a meal, will be open for business, and the Giants at St. Anthony's are a great team, and thank you so much for supporting St. Anthony's. You can be sure to wear orange, which I am not today, as you serve your meals. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, the reason we're embarking on this major effort, and I do also want to acknowledge Larry Nibby because his firm is going to be putting up that beautiful new building that you see behind me, and so we thank you, Larry, and for all your support in helping us get this off and out of the ground. But the reason we're building a new dining room is because of our guests, and we feel that they deserve to be in a space that reflects their dignity. We want to set a table of hope that conveys possibilities for rebuilding and starting anew despite the hardships they face. Our guests are truly the heart and soul of St. Anthony's. And today, I have the privilege of introducing one of our beloved guests, Ms. Kathy Mills.
I have been coming to St. Anthony's for 35 years. And in those 35 years, I can tell you tons of stories. And I'm going to miss these walls. This place has been everything for a lot of people for a long time. And we're all very sad that these walls are going to be coming down. When I first came here, I came as a volunteer, and then I got lucky and I was able to be a donor. And then I got unlucky and I became a guest. But it's okay. These walls have been my refuge from hunger, and it's from, I guess, poverty in general. The staff here has helped me with everything from going homeless to the hospital, going to the hospital. They've taken care of me, and they've been my friends. And these walls have been my home. Inside these walls, I have met angels, at least volunteers disguised as angels. These are people who give up their holidays and their free time to come and help people like me who are in need. But we must remember that even though we are so sad to see these walls go, we have something great to look forward to, new and more beautiful walls. Hopefully, these walls will be more modern, and they will provide a facility for our staff and our volunteers to continue to serve and bless us through the years. I hope I will be around another 35 years to appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. One of our goals with all of our programs is to make sure that they're integrated so that whatever door or program a guest enters, it opens up into another program that they might access to help them. Father Alfred's Center is one of our programs. It's a 12-month recovery program for men. The gentlemen who participate in that program also help us out in the dining room. Some of them do busing, some of them are prep cooks. They learn skills, culinary skills. Some have gone on to work in area restaurants. They also serve an important symbol for our guests because some of the gentlemen who are in Father Alfred's Center stood in the line for a while, and now they're in a recovery program and they're rebuilding their lives. And so for some of our guests who are continuing to struggle in their addictive illnesses, when they see the Father Alfred Center gentlemen in the dining room, it gives them that little ray of hope and that sense that they too can take that first brave step and start anew. And so joining us today is one of our Father Alfred Center participants who's been volunteering, who's going to say a few words with us. And please help me in welcoming Keith.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, and I believe a very joyous occasion. My name is Keith Lindsay. I'm 37 years old, and I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. I've been given this chance from St. Anthony's, the Father Alfred Center, to be a productive part of this community. I was filled with despair, no dignity, no hope. Not only am I a guest at the Recovery Center, but I was a guest at this dining room many a times. I'm sure you never pictured a man that looks like me to have that kind of despair. But I want to make it clear to everyone out there that it sees no color, not black, not white. It sees no sexual orientation, not gay, not straight. It sees no lines of monetary value or financial freedom, for we are all capable or not so lucky in our lives where we end up in the situations that we end up. I am a United States citizen. I'm also a San Francisco resident. I am very appreciative for all that is offered and the help that is given. And the meals that we serve is only a facet of what we need to do in this city to make it a better place and to make humanity a better principle in people's lives. I'll tell you, not only do they feed the hungry stomachs in America here in San Francisco, but they also serve the starving souls with a simple smile, a simple hug, and a simple warm place to come out of the rain and feel like a person. For we all deserve that. We all deserve love. We all deserve hope. And this place at St. Anthony's, you know, it's like a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. This is a change. It is a metamorphosis to help serve the needs of San Francisco in a greater number. It blows me away that 60 years ago they were serving 150 meals to the city of San Francisco. We now serve anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 daily, and with many more to come. God bless all the selfless souls that give of not only their pockets, but of their soul to help better another human. Please empathize with these people, for we look at them as dirty. We look at them not as less fortunate, but as people of choice. Sometimes it's product of circumstance. And let's have a little understanding instead of a little judgment. God bless America. God bless San Francisco.
Thank you, Keith. So one of the other beautiful parts of St. Anthony's is that on a daily basis, we have students from area high schools who come in and volunteer as part of community service. And some of those students have an experience and they want to have a deeper experience with us, and so they participate in an immersion program. Sometimes it's several weeks and sometimes it's a couple of months where they come in every day and work with us. And I am pleased that we, and now don't go telling his school, but he did get out of class today to come, but with permission, I believe. And so I'd like to welcome Kevin Crouch, who I think both exemplifies what the students in San Francisco are doing today and also the future, that these are the young men and women who are seeing service and caring for each other as a core part of their lives today and what they want to carry into their professional lives to make the fabric of San Francisco ever stronger. Kevin, welcome.
I'd like to thank everyone for having me here. As was mentioned, I had the absolute privilege to work and live in the Tenderloin for 2 weeks last summer. And I worked in every facet of St. Anthony's, in the clothing store, in the dining room. I ate every day in the dining room, shared a meal with fellow guests. And I would like to share a story with you that I think really exemplifies the hope, love, and dignity that is present in St. Anthony and in its volunteers and in its guests. So it was the third day of my service at St. Anthony's. We slept on mats every day. And this day I had slept funny. And so I had kind of a crick in my neck, back pain and all of that, and I just didn't feel like working. So I came in and I did my bus tables and I kind of was quiet. And I passed this one man, took his tray and walked away to go give it to the dishwasher. And I'm so happy that this man did this, and he grabbed my shirt and asked me what my name was. And I said, oh, it's Kevin. And I asked him what his name, and he said his name was Geronimo. From there, a friendship really started and grew. And I'm so proud to be able to call that guest my close personal friend. Every time I come back to St. Anthony's, I see him rocking his blue beanie. And every time we talk about so many different things. We're both drummers. He was part of a psychic drum circle, he said, where he played the conga. So we talked about that. And then the last day, or really the second last day, I was sitting down with him, having my lunch. And he told me how he's been trying so hard to get a job. And he just had no luck because he suffers from mental illness. And he told me that even though he's unemployed and has to rely on welfare, and he still volunteers every day. He finds ways to give back to the community. And that was so inspiring. Here was a man who some might say hit rock bottom, but he had so much dignity and so much love for his fellow human being that he would go, and even in his situation, and go and work for the betterment of mankind. And it was that point that I said, there are no excuses. I think my presence here is a challenge to all young adults, teenagers. You're never too busy. You're never too busy for social justice. You're never too busy to address poverty and to fight it. So I challenge my fellow students, please, even if it's not with St. Anthony's, find some way to go and serve. Just serve. Serve your fellow man. Then you'll truly understand what dignity means, what love means, what being a man with and for other means. So I would like to thank St. Anthony's for this opportunity. And Geronimo and I look forward to the new dining room with open minds and open hearts. Thank you.
I like that no excuses motto. That's a good one, don't you think? Over the years, and I think we've heard it here today, certainly Kathy shared, that many people, when they come to St. Anthony's dining room, they refer to it as sacred space, or they call it holy ground, because of the people who come from diverse and disparate backgrounds come together. And like Kathy said, and Kevin just shared with us, that they share a meal. And together we find our common humanity. And that's what truly binds us together and transforms us for the better. And I think that there is no greater model for that kind of service, that dedication and devotion to bringing that common humanity to the fore than our Franciscan friars who are responsible for founding St. Anthony Foundation. They have given San Francisco, in St. Anthony's dining room, a place where all are welcome, just as they are. And so as we mark this special day for St. Anthony's, I now invite Father John Harden, my predecessor as Executive Director, who's now the Provincial for the Order and the President of our Board of Trustees. Father John.
Okay, Linda, you can start your clock to see how long it's going to take before I start crying. Christina Alagi is here with us, another supervisor, just came in. 26 years ago, this was my room, right here. And I had the privilege of I hope you're not taping this because you can cut it. 26 years ago, I was living here in the Tenderloin with my classmate, Father Tom West. Little did I know when I was living with Father Alfred that I would be following his sandals, not his footsteps. And I had so many wonderful conversations. This was a genius, and he had more ideas than Carter had pills. His nephew, Joe, is here with us today, and he can have vouched for that. But his motto was, you visualize, you organize, you deputize, and then you supervise. And I said to Father Alfred, then you agonize. He says, no, you never agonize, you know. And down through the years now, as we are at this kind of bittersweet moment, I was down in the dining room and been associated with St. Anthony's at different levels of ministry and leadership for 16, 17 years. And I was down there today, and this is a funky old building, you know, and I'm going to miss that. You know, building something new is wonderful because I think it shows that we really do believe in the dignity and respect of every individual that comes to St. Anthony's. But there's just something about those walls down there. And I had the privilege Saturday and Sunday to talk to the volunteers and ask them what they were going to be taking across the street in the temporary dining room. And they always talked about dignity and respect, hope and compassion and love. I remember one of our former client safety services, Richard Beal, and he's got a great line. He says, we're going to love you till you learn to love yourself. And that's what St. Anthony's does in spades. And I'm just looking forward to this. Father Alfred wanted to end world hunger in 2000. It was an ambitious goal, and it didn't happen. And unfortunately, we're serving more people every day. But I think with people here in this room and so many people that will see the news coverage, not only in San Francisco, but literally around the world, will be here to help stop poverty and homelessness and hunger. It's so important that we have to do our part, not only to continue to serve meals with dignity and respect, but to wipe out hunger. And that is so important, and I'm so excited about Sherry's leadership. I couldn't have left the foundation in better hands, and she's hit the ground running, and look forward to seeing this new building come up. Unfortunately, I might be complaining because I live right next door. And Larry, if you can keep the noise down when you're building, I would really appreciate it, or at least cut it off so I can sleep at night. So God bless you all, and thank you for coming.
And again, I also want to make sure we recognize the fire chief is here. Hopefully we haven't exceeded the number of people in our space. And also I know we have a member from the police chief's office as well. Thank you for joining us today. And I think one of the things I also want to make sure is that getting all of this work done takes a lot of hands, a lot of people working together. And I want to acknowledge Suzanne Swift, if you can raise your hand, who's the vice president of our board, who's here with us. And then I want to also ask all of the staff who are here to please raise your hands, because day in and day out, raise them high. Day in and day out, they are the ones who are truly making sure that everything runs very smoothly and gets done, and we couldn't do it by ourselves. This is truly a team effort, and we've talked a lot about teams and putting together a winning team, and certainly this is a winning team at St. Anthony's. And so as we wrap up our press conference today, I just want to display for you, this is our final tray for service today, and then it will go on display, and this will be the inaugural tray for our new dining room at St. Anthony's in 2014. And in the meantime, we're going to fill it with that final $5 million for the capital campaign. Off we go. Thank you. I think for those of you who'd like the opportunity to serve some trays in the dining